Hey, everybody, welcome to Cali Girl Blog Talk. I'm Callie, and I'm coming to you with a review for Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 13, Going Back to Blue Ridge. All right, you guys, so we start off with Quad, stopping by Anila's, and Anila now has cameras everywhere, okay, as a result of the break-in. While she's visiting, Quad brings up Dr. Jackie's event where she referred to Toya, Contessa, and Simone as the Three Stooges. And Anila, she couldn't make it to Jackie's party, dealing with the break in, but she was on FaceTime with the ladies and she felt like Contessa was really grilling her about the break in. Okay. Quad told her, yeah, well, while Contessa was throwing questions at you left and right, Simone, honey, was in the background laughing. Now, Anila is shocked. I was too. Okay. And Quad said, honey, the consensus is that you staged the whole thing. Okay. Like you were out here scheming. Anila can't believe it. She's obviously, disappointed. In her confessional, she said, who would traumatize their kids like that? Meaning, stage a robbery. Then she came for the education. She said, for y'all to be so smart and educated. Well, she didn't say so smart. She said, for y'all to be smart and educated to say something like that, making such an accusation, that's crazy. She said, that's terrible. Now, I'm trying to figure out what is Simone and Contessa's beef with Anila. I'm like, did I miss something? Or are they, in cahoots or not cahoots, but backing up Toya based on what happened at Quad's party? When Anila showed up with Toya's ex best friend, y'all know what happened with that. So anyway, Quad said, if it was an insurance scam, who would take it to the internet? Because Anila posted everything online, and she said, who would go that far? And when you think about it, it's like, yeah, who would be that dumb? To invite the whole world into your scam and draw unnecessary attention. But then again, child, the show World's Dumbest Criminals does not exist for a reason. Or excuse me, it does exist for a reason, child. So anyway, Quad then said Toya is switching her narrative on you and the streets are talking, okay, saying that Toya has been sleeping around. I said, wait a minute, Quad. I said, now wait a minute, hold up now. Basically, you guys are doing the same thing. Okay, y'all is really in the mud with y'all conversations because last episode, uh, you know, couple episodes ago rather, Simone sitting with Contessa and Toya, she said that the streets are talking about Quad slept with the contractor, and she said it so casually. Okay, she just let that thing linger out there. She didn't try to say, but I don't believe it, or girl, that's just talk or whatever. She just let that thing sit out there for Contessa and Toya to mull over, and for us to be like, ooh, child. Ain't nobody friends. I don't see friendship. I don't know. Anyway, Anila, she did not acknowledge Quad's comment as far as Toya, sleeping around or whatever. She brought it back to her. And she just said, Toya, she didn't even, check on me. I haven't heard from her. And I'm like, but girl, did you really expect a phone call from Toya? Like, y'all got beef. Okay. Like, you was just at Quad's party telling her telling Toya that she effed up the whole neighborhood, and you did it in front of a room full of party guests. Like, and you was sitting next to her ex best friend. Like, girl, come on, Anila, don't be delusional, girl. Stop it. So next we have Simone and Cecil, who were invited to Jackie's house, to have dinner with her and Curtis. Jackie, they have a little bit of chit chat and they sit down, and immediately Jackie jumps to it and she said, what happened at the party? She's referring to the last episode. She said, what happened? And they agree that the group is in a bad place. Curtis said, this is serious. I mean, we got people swinging on each other. And Tay was like, what are we going to do? Cecil was like, I don't know how, we're going to get these ladies together, with all these issues. Curtis suggests that maybe the group should take a couples trip back to Blue Ridge, where they had a previous couples trip and they said everybody had a nice time. So they calling this one the throwback. So we're going to see how this turns out, child. Back over at Anila's, we see that, they were able to convince Ms. Gomez to come back. Okay, so everybody is excited. I'm even excited because seeing that back and forth with Anila, and her mama was like, no, Anila, get yourself a nanny, okay? Let your mom be a grandma who visits, okay? Not somebody that work for you, because it's not working. Plus, how many times have we seen them eating pizza for dinner? I'm like, Miss Gomez, hurry up and come back because even the kids were looking at the pizza like, again. Anyway, so Miss Gomez, she arrives. Okay, the kids, they got handmade pictures made for her. They so cute. That little boy is so cute. And that girl, the little girl with the chubby cheeks. Anyway, they're all excited. Everybody is good. I said, but wait a minute, dang, Anila, because Miss Gomez could barely get her coat off before Anila is like talking to the kids saying, y'all ready for a bath with Miss Gomez? I'm like, a bath? Girl, wait a minute, dang. Anyway, next we have Superwoman Contessa. Okay, she is contest focused and ready. It is the day of her fitness competition, and after months of sacrifice and strict dieting, the day has finally arrived. Okay, so she's nervous. Okay, she's nervous to walk, but I'm like, girl, this is what you prepared for. And Contessa, honey, she is bad. Okay, so whether she wins or not, she won. Anyway, she's getting tanned. And I said, "Oh, I didn't know that they did that for black women. I didn't know that they tanned them, but I guess it makes sense because it can even out the skin tone. You know how certain parts of your body are lighter and darker than others, depending on how much parts of your body was in the sun or not. So that makes sense." So Contessa, she enters the room. Okay, it's filled with all of her competitors, and I can only imagine that she's feeling even more nervous. Her family, they're out there in the audience. Even her father, that was good to see. Scott, honey, he is supporting his woman. He seems to be proud. And honey, when Contessa came out on that stage, baby, I said, dang, Tessa. Honey, she shut it down. Let me tell you. Scott, he was screaming, hot dog, hot dog. Okay. And that girl snagged the win. Okay. Her father was hollering, that's my baby. That's my baby. I said, okay, it's a proud moment for them. She did that too. So next we see everybody, they're packing for the couple's trip at Blue Ridge. And Quad, she FaceTimes Audra, and Audra just got back from her wedding celebration. She said they were gone for 3 days and, it was full of celebration and bliss. Anyway, Quad says, okay, this will be the first time you'll be seeing Toya since the party, aka since you got mushed hard in the face. While at Toya's, Eugene said, okay, what do you want to come out of this trip? And Toya said, I want Jackie to tell Audra that this is not what the group is about. I said, well, okay, with the exception of casual conversations about who's stepping outside of their marriage. Anyway. I'm like, yo, so you want Jackie to approach Audra? Is Jackie like the Toastmaster for the group? I don't know. Secondly, anyway, she said she wants to confront Anila about bringing the rumor of her sleeping around to the group. Eugene was like, I agree. Meanwhile, Heavenly, honey, she said, Daddy, if they try to whoop my ass in the cabin, what am I supposed to do? And he simply said, don't talk too much. Just like that. Anila, she's concerned over at her house talking to Kieran, about how the trip is going to be for them. Kieran, he is upset, and he's hurt, I guess, because the group of friends or that a group that he would consider his friends, they are suggesting that, they staged their own break in. And he said, there will be a reckoning at Blue Ridge. I said, ooh, Kieran talking about this going to be some straightening? Okay. So on the ride up to the ridge, the rules are being set per Simone. Nobody, I mean, it's just her, Simone, Simone, and who else? Jackie, Cecil, and Curtis in the car. But she's setting the rules, saying that basically we will be addressing the issues, okay. But if anybody gets too out of line, you will have to go home. So we're gonna see how that goes, child. So they get to the cabin and they get there first, okay? And the cabin is beautiful. Eugene and Toya, they arrive next, and Toya, she's admiring the cabin, and she said, look, let's lock the door and leave all the other biatches out. Simone picked up on it quick and said a couple of times, we left all of that in Atlanta. Okay, Toya, she did not acknowledge her statement and instead told Simone, well, since you guys picked out the room, don't be putting us next to the kitchen because Eugene is not going to be jumping up every day cooking. And Simone said, okay, see, what I want you to do, I want you to be here with a different energy. And in her confessional, Simone said, Toya, she has already arrived with that stank a dank dank attitude, and I need her to get it together quickly. So her and Jackie, they sat Toya down and they said, the group is in the darkest place it's ever been. Okay, we want the communication to be had with respect, and it can't continue. The group cannot continue the way it's been going. or the group is just not going to make it. They said they want to promote healing, so they need Toya and everybody to let their guard down with the 3 R's. Okay, they have this 3R thing that they've coined, and it's called Relationship Resuscitation Retreat. Jackie said, "We will not be here destroying families under no circumstances." Toya said, "Okay, I'm going to apply." She promised her pastor something. She said, "I'm going to apply the advice that I got from my pastor, which is if, I want compassion from others, I need to seek out where I've hurt them. Okay, I need to acknowledge that." So I'm watching this as I'm recording, so we'll see how that goes. So Audra and her husband Martin, Quad, and Heavenly, they make it. Okay, Damon, Contessa, and Scott, they're not coming until the next day. Immediately, Cecil, he starts with the jokes because Audra and her husband Martin, they have on matching champion sweatsuits, and we all know how Toya was going in. She was on top of Audra and on top of her dressing, saying she's too relaxed, or she was too relaxed when they were in Vegas when she was wearing a champion outfit. So, but let me say this. Y'all notice that if it's not Heavenly, then it's Toya who is hazing the new cast members. Like first, Heavenly did it with Contessa, and Toya, she really, really hazed Anila last season. And that could be why Anila don't see it for Toya this season. Anyway, as far as Cecil making jokes, he was just playing. It was all in fun. Nobody was tripping. They laughed at it. So looking at the rooms assigned to them, Curtis said, "Quad, we thought you were going to bring a date. And if so, we were not going to let you share a room with nobody. We was going to make you have 2 separate rooms." And Heavenly said, "Yes, because this is because you are not married and this is a Bible Belt." And Quad, honey, was quick with it. She said, "I know you're not talking because if memory serves me right, you were pregnant when you got married." Ooh, Heavenly's face was cracked and on the ground. Honey, back in the kitchen, Eugene, he is cooking. Cecil is in there. And he lets Toya know that everybody else arrived, including Audra and Martin. And she just says, "Oh." And Cecil, he playing into it, talking about why you say "oh" with his messy self. Anyway, in her confessional, Toya said, "I'm not trying to hold a grudge, but Audra swung on me." And I said, "Wait a minute. I saw her chest bump you, but they got to her before that swing got to you. So I don't know." But honey, Audra was ready, honey. She revved that arm back so far. I said, "Girl, Toya." Anyway, Heavenly, she came to the kitchen. She was making small talk, followed by Martin and Audra. Now, Martin, he says, "Hello, hello." To Eugene and honey, Eugene and Toya, and it is crickets. They left them on red. Eugene, he wouldn't even look up from whatever he was stirring real vigorously in that bowl. And Toya sat there eating her crackers like, mom is the word. So Audra and Martin, they exited. They made their exit stage left. And I said, yes, move on because the cabin is big enough to move to another part. Back in the kitchen, Heavenly, she apologized for how she came at Toya at Jackie's house and said, she had a lot going on. Her mama passed and she's been crying all the time. But even with her situation, she can't act out like that. And, she apologized for her behavior and the part that she played, in the rumors being spread, because, she's really the one who set it off at Quad's Christmas party. In her confessional, Toya says she forgives Heavenly and knows that she had a lot going on after losing her mom. Now, Audra and Martin, back on them, they're in their room. They've been working on making a baby. Okay, so she has a fertility dog. She's rubbing it on her stomach, and they've been celibate for a while until they got married. So now that they have tied the knot, honey, they are back at it. And now she's there with pregnancy test. She got pregnancy test there with them. And we recently saw in the news that Audra is pregnant, and she does look to be far along in her pregnancy. So congratulations to them with the new bundle of joy on the way. So as I mentioned, I'm watching the show while I'm recording. So after the commercial break, we see that the pregnancy test came back positive. As I said, congratulations. They are ecstatic. Okay. She already has a son, Audra. She has a son from a previous relationship, and now they have a new addition. So while they are calling their parents to share the good news, everybody else is downstairs chilling when Anila and Kieran arrives. And while, they're being greeted, Toya, she gets up. She's visibly uncomfortable, and rightfully so. In her confessional, she said nobody could have brought that rumor about her cheating to the group except Anila, and to now put the accusation out there that they were behind the break-in. She said it is not a kumbaya moment. And I agree, that's a lot. Anyway, Anila, she's just as uncomfortable. Okay, so she's in the room with Kieran talking about it. They unpacking a little bit, and they flash back to the earlier conversation she had with Quad, where she says, "So, do you think that Toya condoned the break-in, like basically like saying that's what she get or whatever?" Quad said, "I don't put nothing past Toya." I said, "Dang, now wait a minute. I don't agree with everything Toya does or says in the friend group, but I just can't see her doing that. Like she has too much to lose. It doesn't seem that she would be that pressed over what she says is a lie. And I can't see her, willingly endangering Anila's kids and risk, ruining her own family and her profession as well as her husband's profession, which is, the basic bread. He's the basically the breadwinner. So the main breadwinner, I'll say. So anyway, it just doesn't make sense, and I think that's messed up that they putting that out there like that without zero proof of anything, unless there's some proof that they have that hasn't been presented and it's still behind the scenes. Anyway, everybody is eating. Okay, the guys are at one table, the ladies are at another table, and I'm like, man, I want to taste Eugene's cooking because every time he's cooking, they're like, oh my gosh, and like it is so mouth watering, and I'm like, I want to be like, oh my gosh too. Everybody, they getting along. Okay, so it appears. And Heavenly, she said to Anila, she said, how are you? And Anila said, I'm getting through it. I had to leave my house for 2 weeks, go to Savannah and be with my mom. The kids are having nightmares. Her daughter is having nightmares every night. And so she looks sad. And Toya is the first one to speak up. And she said, I'm very sorry that happened to you and your kids. And I was like, okay, Toya. And Anila said, but I have a question though. Does anybody believe that this was a setup? And okay, although Toya was the first to apologize, she was also the first to answer Anila. And again, Neela said, do anybody think this was a setup? And Toya said, girl, I don't know what you do because I don't know you. I said, damn, that was quick. Where is Toya's pastor? Because that compassion was in and out. Honey, anyway, like I said, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of rumors coming from Anila's way, and then dealing with what she had going on, being blasted with Audra. But I think she's more bothered by I can't say what that lady's more bothered by. I would be bothered by all of it actually. Anyway, from there the episode ends, so we shall see what will happen on the next episode at Blue Ridge Mountain. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. And until next time, you all take care. Have a blessed day. Peace.